All right, so this is Matrix Resurrections. It just came out, what was it, a couple days ago, and I don't think too many people are liking it. I'll say how I feel about it in a second. It's directed by Lana Wachowski, which is one of the Wachowskis. Only one of them came back for this one for reasons that I think might be in the script, but we'll get to that. Basically, Neo, Keanu Reeves, he is in the Matrix again, and he's a game developer. And the Matrix movies, it's kind of meta. The Matrix movies are actually games that he helped develop, or he led the development of them. So now he's kind of famous for that. And Trinity's also in there, and they kind of pass by each other, but she has a family, and they don't know each other. And so it's all about getting him out of the Matrix, and then once he gets out, he wants to go back to get Trinity out. That's pretty much the main thing, the main goal that he has is just getting Trinity. So this is bad. It's very bad, but there are some good things. The action is well choreographed. It's a little bit shaky and cuts a little bit too much, but it's for the most part all right. It's kind of flashy like the other movies. The effects are pretty bad. It's kind of funny that the Matrix movies are video games in this movie because looking at the action scenes in here, or some of them, yeah, it's definitely a video game. But whatever. So that was pretty good. I really like Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss, Trinity. I like their romance in this one, where they don't really know each other, but yet they still kind of connect. It's like Eternal Sunshine, where like they can't remember each other, but yet they still kind of gravitate towards each other, which I thought was really good. Jessica Henwick, Bugs, and it's the one with the blue hair, and she has the most personality and the most kind of like storyline of most of the characters. Most of the other people in her group, they don't really do much in the movie. They're really just there to follow behind her and eventually Neo. There's also I don't know how to say his name, but the guy from Candyman that plays Morpheus in this, he's pretty good. The whole thing of why he's Morpheus and how he came to be in this movie, it's real shaky for me. I was like, I don't, is that possible? But whatever, he's pretty good. He's not as good as Lawrence Fishburne, but he's all right. I even like the parts with Neil Patrick Harris's character. He's Neo's therapist, and he's trying to like convince him that he's just crazy and that what he's seeing, because he's kind of getting flashes of things from the other Matrix movies, that they're just in his head.
Yesterday, you walked into a meeting with your business partner and he ambushed you, demanding you make a game you said you would never make. This attack effectively took away your voice. His violence triggered you, and your mind fought back. You did to him what he was doing to you.
So that's good, but at a certain point, it gets to maybe like the midway point or something like that, and that's when the thing really starts to nosedive. It's like really heavy-handed in a lot of ways. It's just full of really heavy-handed exposition to where it actually makes it harder to understand. It got to the point where I didn't understand any of this. Well, like by the halfway point, I don't really remember the Matrix sequels. I don't remember not liking them. That's about it. I remember the first movie, but that's about it. And so they're talking about all this technology. There's some new technology which is actually pretty cool, where you can actually like the people that would be running the computers and things, they can actually like put themselves or almost project themselves in the Matrix. So that's kind of cool. But there's all this other stuff of why they couldn't find Neo because his, was it DSI or something changed or something. There's all these terms being thrown around, and it gets to the point where it's really hard to understand. Even though this movie has like no subtlety, like there's one point where him and his game developers, they were coming up with Matrix 4, and that's where a lot of this meta commentary comes in. And White Rabbit is playing, and it's like, okay, that's a little on the nose, but whatever. But then he meets someone, and she's reading Alice in Wonderland. It's like, okay, I didn't need that. I get it. And then he's there with his group developing the game, and somebody's like, come on, guys, we're going down a rabbit hole. I was like, bro, you don't need that. I understand. I get it. It's like Alice in Wonderland. Like, it's, and also, like, the dialogue itself is pretty bad, where the character that turns out to be doing all this and created the Matrix, He's talking about, women were so much easier to control. He's talking about Trinity. I was like, oh, okay, that was a little bit too much, I think. And then there's a part where he's like, yeah, these sheeple will choose to stay here. I was like, sheeple, really? You got that in the dialogue? There's a part where, because the movie just keeps constantly rehashing the old movies, which is one of the things I found the most annoying. Was, they keep flashing to the other movies. There's a new Agent Smith in this, and they keep flashing back to the old one from the other movies constantly. I don't even understand the whole situation there, but uh, he goes to meet the new Morpheus, and the scene from that movie with Morpheus is just in there. It's just being played, and he says something about nostalgia, anxiety. People get over anxiety because of nostalgia. I was like, did you need that in the dialogue? I mean, do you need to constantly flash to the original movie or the other three movies? It's overload. I mean, it is way too much. Uh, there's this thing with like the writers and I guess Lana Wachowski, where they want to tell us almost how shitty Warner Brothers is. In a Warner Brothers movie, there's commentary about how shitty Warner Brothers is and how they're like forcing them to make Matrix 4. I'm not lying. I mean, it's in the dialogue. It's pretty early on too. I don't know how this got in the script and how it was okay. I don't know, but I mean, it made me laugh, I guess.
I'm sure you can understand why our beloved parent company, Warner Brothers, has decided to make a sequel to the trilogy.
What?
They informed me they're gonna do it with or without us.
I thought they couldn't do that.
Oh, they can.
Yeah, this is it's forced and it's lame, and at a certain point, because I don't really understand what's going on, it gets actually pretty boring. The fight at the end is really really boring, even though there's so much going on. Bodies are falling out of buildings and things, and Keanu Reeves, Neo, is doing like force pushes all over the place, and it's still pretty lame. Like I watched this at home on HBO Max, and I couldn't stay off my phone during that part because I was just so bored. And it really gets to the point where they just stand around talking, explaining what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do this. I'm like, I'm completely lost, and the movie has just completely left me and just keeps going. So that added to the feeling of me being like, I don't care about any of this. Just get Trinity out and let's keep moving, I guess. There's also the one performance that isn't good in this. I think everybody's pretty good, especially the main characters. But Jada Pinkett Smith comes back. I'm not sure what the name of that character was. There we go, as Niobe, as the character from the other movies. I think she was. I don't think she was in the first one. She was in like the sequels. And obviously she's older now. Some time has gone past, and she has the worst old woman makeup on. But not only that, she feels like she has to talk like this with every line of dialogue as she's walking across and talking to Jessica Henwick and all that. It is so bad. It is laughable. It's embarrassing because it feels like she has to play old, which she's bad at. The performance is terrible. But then also she has that orange bullshit just caked on her face, so she can barely kind of move when she talks. It's so bad. It's like she shouldn't be seen in public for a couple months based on the embarrassment. It really is that bad. I mean, I spent most of the movie just bored, and like, at a certain point it was kind of interesting, the meta stuff within it with Lana Wachowski. I guess just straight up telling us that Warner Brothers sucks in one of their own movies. but at a certain point, it's like, okay, there's no subtlety to this at all. You guys are just blatantly doing heavy-handed exposition to where I can't follow what's going on. It's really messy, and the effects are so bad, especially the thing that happens at the very end. This is just a bad movie. I don't even understand why this exists. Oh, well, I know, and it's actually in the movie. It's because of money. Warner Brothers wants money. So that's it. It sucks. It's not good. There are some parts that I like, and the action is still pretty good, even though the effects are bad. So it's still watchable, and I really did find some interesting things to like towards the beginning. So I'll still give it a rental, but this is a bad movie, right? Don't even bother with it. There's no need. But anyway, that's Matrix Resurrections, and I'm done.